Hi guys, welcome back to K-pop Talks. Today we're doing our we're in July, but we're gonna do the best K-pop albums from June 2023. This month has been a very weird month in my opinion because while overall I felt like the music was there and I think there was a decent quality in terms of singles and stuff like that, the albums for me, there was a lot of good albums. There was a lot of projects that I really enjoyed, but there weren't a lot of them that amazed me in that sense. But at the same time, you can't really ask too much. I felt like normally in the summer, it's a weird period. It's kind of like coin flippy, where you can get some incredible music, you can get other music which is like boring in a sense. So, I'm happy the way it came out. I think this month, this list specifically. So let's get right into it. We have a lot of music to talk about. Let's not waste any more time. First, we have Taeyeong with SHALALA. This was a surprise for me personally. I've always liked Taeyeong, always liked this style of music. But I think when it comes to him specifically compared to a lot of other artists, I think in the genre, even in his own group when they do solo stuff, I think he has mastered his style the best out of everybody, in my opinion. And this project really showcased that, in my opinion. It's short, I think 6-7 songs, sweet to the point, always quality production from SM, who likes to vary even inside those small short projects, and the single really hits hard. So I think it was a great showcase for him specifically. So if you're a fan of him, you're gonna love it. If you're not, I think this is a great introduction to him because I think this is his first project actually physically that has more than 2 songs, for example. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was one of the better projects of this month, 100%. Next, we have From Is Nine with Unlock My World. Now, this was a really big surprise as well because I like From Is Nine. I felt like specifically since they've been under the company, which I always forget, is it Hype, is it Starship? I think it's Hype right now. They haven't been great. They've had a single was really popular, but for whatever reason, they weren't really pushed to the moon the way they were supposed to. They barely even drop singles as much as they used to. I don't know why. It's not a good sign normally, I think, when companies don't do that, specifically when they have a popular group. But this project specifically was really good. Definitely out there. I mean, it's R&B, a lot of ballady songs, a lot of great vocals. So it, in a sense, it's clear that in a sense the company didn't want to invest so much money in the production aspect of the group, but at the same time, the quality is there and it's listened. You can just listen to it. It's very high. So I've really enjoyed it, and it was definitely a breath of fresh air, I think, from Stan specifically. And next we have Shinee with Hard. I think this is their 9th album full-length project that they've dropped under SM, and it's fantastic. It's definitely something different. It's more modern, a lot of hip-hop, a lot of modern K-pop, but the way they've done it is very smart. And again, the way specifically I think they tend to like do the track lists, I think, Shinee in their albums, and they've been a master of it, I think, in the last 5 or 6 years of their career, where every time they drop a project, everything is put in the right place and the songs feel amazing to listen to. So I really loved it. Shinee is one of the all-time great groups. Every year they keep reminding you why they are, and on top of that, while other groups have had ups and downs, specifically male groups tend to have ups and downs in terms of quality, they really haven't, in my opinion. In fact, you can argue they've gotten better and better every year, and they've varied every year. Every year they come out with something different, and that's fantastic to see. They're 15 years into the game, and every time they bring something different. It's not a obvious conclusion that people would do. In fact, a lot of other times people don't do that. They tend to do their own thing, do that, make money and leave. So, but SM has a different culture in that sense. We've always knew that. We've always knew that. Next, with KANG Danielle, we realize. I love KANG Danielle, and this project is really good. And I was surprised because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on it. I get why, because there's more standard song in that sense. But I felt like specifically that first half of the album is so good that on its own it deserves to be on this list. Now, is it the strongest out of this batch on this list? No, I don't think so. But it is definitely one of the better albums of this month, 100%. So I've seen a lot of negative reviews. A lot of people say, I expect different things from KANG Danielle. Personally, I got everything that I can ask for. And there's a couple songs that are not for me, but the rest is so good. Like I said, those 2 songs, even though they're on my cup of tea, which again, they're not bad songs, I can still appreciate them and understand why he did that. But these other songs are so much fantastic, from Wasteland to the single and stuff like that you can't really hit on the project. It's a fantastic album. And KANG Danielle, again, with this project, reminds everybody and reaffirms my belief that he's the best male solo artist in Korea, easily. Next, we have Kim Jo-wan with J.A.M, Journey Above Music. This is a huge surprise for me. I'm not a Kim Jo-wan listener, but I got into it and I really loved it. This is what a summer album is, through and through. Fun production, incredibly good vocals, good feature choices in my opinion. I think apart from Bobby, there's a couple more. I wish I want to highlight them because they were really, really good. Let me check. No, there was only Bobby. Okay, so I must have confused him with another project, you see? But the feature here was really, really good. And again, it's short, sweet, to the point, very, very enjoyable to listen to. Again, it's nothing super original, but who does this really in K-pop? How many can say we can drop out a summer album and make a good summer album through and through from start to finish? I don't think a lot of groups can claim that, or a lot of artists in general in Korea, so it's nice to see him do it. Kim Jo-wan with J.A.M Above the Music, it's a really, really good project. Or Journey About the Music, sorry. Next we have Kim Areum with Soul Wave. Now this is a very long project. It's like an hour, I think, maybe even an hour and a half. It's pretty good. Now, this is obviously background music, okay, because it's an hour. It's very synth pop, city pop, synth wave, lo-fi. There's a lot of these elements put together. A lot of Japanese, obviously Japanese inspired music by Kim Areum, and the album is really good, but it's a background project. It's a project you just listen to and you vibe to, and for that it's perfect. It's probably the best one I've heard in years. So I really, really enjoyed it, and the vocals are fantastic. So it's a simple project, does what it's supposed to do. It's not overly pretentious, and I think it's something a little bit different than maybe other projects where, even though they're K-pop projects, you kind of have to follow. They tend to be a little bit more on the noisy side of things. So to see this type of music being done in Korea makes me happy in general, and it seems that people really enjoy it. Like, I was looking at reviews and stuff like that. People are really fucking with it, and I'm happy because Kim Areum is a very talented artist, but most people don't know who she is. And next we have Sakura Zaka 46 with Start Over, the special edition, because that's the only one you can find on Spotify. It's pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of new songs. There's songs that they released last year. Listen, one thing I can say about Sakura Zaka specifically is I feel like they're in a position right now in their career where they've matured as a group, because they've always made good music, even when they were Keyaki Zaka, but now they have their own style, they have their own image, they have their own concept. You look at a music video from Sakura Zaka, it's them, right? And before I felt like they were trying to too much live up to the Keyaki Zaka past, which was amazing. And their first year specifically, I think, of transition, when they try to transition from different aspects of the industry and do different things, it wasn't as smooth as they thought probably. And then 2021 was better, and 2020 was really good, and 2023 is fantastic. So they're one of the best Japanese groups, where I felt like 2020, 2021, apart from like 2 or 3 songs maybe out of an album here and there, they were still, I think, iffy in terms of project. That's not the case anymore. You go into a project, you're gonna hear fun, fresh, the peak, I think, what is Japanese idol groups can do, specifically girl groups. So one of the best projects that I've heard from Japan, from an idol group, and one of the more fun listens I think I've had from a Sakura Zaka project, I think in almost a year right now. I mean, not a year, because they dropped their album last year. Yes, it's a year, pretty much a year, like 8 months ago. So I'm really happy about it. Sakura Zaka Start Over. Go listen to it if you want to get introduced to this group. Then we have ATEEZ with The World Episode 2 Outlaw. Now, most people know, if they watch my videos, that I tend to criticize ATEEZ a little bit, not because they're a bad group, because I don't think they are a bad group, but I definitely do think they're inconsistent, because the way they can drop a fun single and you go into a project and be underwhelmed, there's other times where I've listened to a single and I wasn't a fan of, going to a project and really enjoy it. And I feel like this album takes the two things, unites them, and do the best of both of them, because the single is good. At first, when I listened to it, even if you listen to my review, I wasn't too sold on it, but through the weeks, I really started to enjoy it more and more and more. And on top of that, the album is just fantastic. This is a great banger project, like every song is a banger, every song is fantastically produced, every song has a cool chorus, every song has a cool idea, a cool sort of melody. The rappings are always really good, the rappers are really, really good here. So this is probably their best project, I think, in a couple of years. It's super short, but it does what it's supposed to do very, very well. So how much can you really complain? There's some of the best bangers I've heard, I mean, in years from K-pop, and there's this specific song. Let me see if I can find the album. If I'm not mistaken, it's either Django or Dune, but I think it's Django, which is really good. But even Dune is fantastic, don't get me wrong. They're incredible songs, so give them credit. I think it's hard to considering the fact they come from a smaller company, they were able to build this company. It's hard to do it. They are these new generation's Monster X in that sense. Even though I think I always thought Monster X was better, at least they are doing something in their own style. They always try to improve somehow in that specific circle. They never go out of that circle, but inside of that circle, they always experiment, try something original. You know, they push as much as the boundaries as they can, which is respectable. Because even if when I criticized the single Bouncy, and I felt like it's too noisy, I don't like the fact there's so much things going on above the voice when they're singing. That's not something normally K-pop companies do. So give them credit in that sense. Next, we have Dynamic Duo with Two Kids on the Block. Now, this is 3 songs, if I'm not mistaken, 3, 4. They always call it the right time, don't they? It's really simple. It's very introspective. I haven't really heard Dynamic Duo talk about their personal life as much as on this track, on these tracks. And definitely, I would say 19, which is the single for this project, is the highlight. But definitely check the other ones as well because they're very, very good. Again, Dynamic Duo is a group that if you're into Korean hip hop, you definitely know. I mean, it's kind of an extreme example. But it's like listening to hip hop in America and not know who Mobb Deep is or Outkast. That's kind of the thing in Korea. If you don't know Dynamic Duo and you say you're a hip hop fan, they kind of look at you weird. So definitely check it out if you're interested in the Korean hip hop scene because they're that good. And they tend to collaborate with a lot of newer artists. So you definitely had at least know one of them. I'll be surprised if you don't. And last but not least, we have Sung Kyu, our leader from Infinite, with 2023 SS season. I assume it's spring-summer. Pretty good. Now, I think it's very daring for Sung Kyu. Normally, he doesn't tend to go into these areas. He tends to keep it into his ballad, more classic Korean style of K-pop. But doing something like this, it's very, very risky and he does it well. It's a really good project. It's kind of experimental. It's a little bit daring. It's also on the alternative side of things, but it's still kind of in the same track considering the single and other couple of tracks on this album that are more standard. But there's a risk element there that I enjoy. Like I said, that's what I want to hear from K-pop groups, from K-pop companies. Take that risk. Now, Sung at this point is so established in Korea. Like, he's a ballad artist. He makes music for soundtracks for albums and like for like dramas and stuff like that. So he's chilling. Probably wrote a shitload of Infinite songs. He's chilling. He's making a lot of money. But it's nice to see him still trying different things. And he probably feels more free to do so compared to a lot of other artists. But it's a very good project. It's not for everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if people don't like it the way I do. But I think it's very, very good. And this is it for the best K-pop project 2023. Not a lot. But I like the variety. Girl group, a couple girl groups, we have a couple boy groups, we have a couple solo artists, you know, from popular to less popular. We have a Japanese idol group. I think it's pretty good. We have a little bit of hip-hop as well. So I think this was a good month overall. Not fantastic. No, not at all. In fact, I would say that when the best albums of the year so far was gonna come out before I go to vacation, when you're gonna see that video, you'll probably realize, you know, there weren't as many projects from these last couple of months, even though there's some good ones, but it was a high level in general. I think, you know, I still haven't been through a month where I felt like it was hell to listen to the music. I think it hasn't been the case yet for the most part. And this is it for the video. Let me know, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and see you next time. Tell me what were your favorite albums of this month. This video is gonna come out in the next days. I'm not gonna edit it now. My head hurts anyway, so it's gonna come out probably towards the mid of July. But at this point, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's definitely gonna be next week, so it's gonna be 12th, 13th of July, 100%. It's gonna come out. So let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you like this video? Do you don't like it? Tell me what can I improve on. Share if you like the video, and tell me in the comments what are your favorite albums I was saying. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.